The following guided meditation is intended to support our efforts in developing the capacity to understand and care for the activity of the mind. Our aim in training the mind is not to stop what occurs in the mind. After all, the job of the mind is to think. Our aim is to recognize what is happening so that we can restrain ourselves from being overtaken by and defined by our thoughts. For example, imagine you are meditating and focused on the breath, and suddenly you realize you've been lost in thought for several minutes, and you see that you're comparing your economic situation to that of a friend's. As soon as you see this is a moment of mindfulness, and we can simply note, comparing, come back to the breath. In naming, we immediately disrupt the story and identifying ourselves as either inferior or superior. Thankfully, we have a choice. We have a choice in how we can respond to what arises in the mind. It is the stability and continuity of our awareness that moves us through this disillusionment, moves us towards less comparison, less judgment, less obsession, less wanting, and less addiction. As we sit together today, I'm going to give you a lot of space just to sit with and anchor your awareness on the breath. The breath is something we can return to again and again. Take some time to relax the mind and body. Soften the heart center and take advantage of this quiet solitude. When thinking arises, just bring a gentle curiosity towards the activity of the mind and see if you can identify whether the mind is comparing, ruminating, judging, wanting, planning. Is it aversive or enmeshed in delusional thinking? Simply observe and name the activity of the mind as it arises, and then come back to the breath. Let's take some time now to practice. Settle into the breath. No need to analyze if it feels difficult to identify the activity of the mind. Just let it go and come back to the breath. There's plenty of opportunity to practice. Is the mind aware of the present moment? Is the mind aware of the breath or lost in thought? Name the activity of the mind and come back to the breath. take a moment to recognize where you are and what is it that you're observing about the nature of your mind, of your thinking. Take a moment to reflect and then come back to the breath. Is there comparing, ruminating, judging, wanting, planning, aversion? Are we lost in thought, in the past or future? Recognize this and then come back to the breath. Let whatever you were able to do today in your practice, let it be good enough. And may our efforts to train the mind, to understand and care for the mind, may it bring greater peace, joy, and ease for all beings everywhere. May our efforts make it so.